What if you could access 60 plus AI models without paying a single subscription fee, all directly inside VS Code? In this video, I'm going to break down Microsoft's AI Toolkit for VS Code and answer 3 critical questions. Is this Microsoft AI Toolkit really free to use? What can this extension actually do for you? And how can you get started using it? If you've been following my channel, you know I recently covered GitHub Copilot's free tier. Today's toolkit takes things even further, and as a software engineer who's been testing this extensively, I'll give you my honest take on whether this could replace your existing AI subscriptions. What you're looking at now is the renamed and improved version of what used to be called Windows AI Studio. Microsoft dropped the Windows part because, as you can see here, it works across all operating systems. Let me show you the 5 key features that make this toolkit particularly interesting. First, you can run small language models like Phi-3 completely offline on your machine. You can also connect to larger models remotely. There's a feature for fine-tuning models for specific tasks. You get this beautiful chat interface I'm showing you now, which even handles file attachments. And finally, there's a built-in evaluation system that lets you have one AI model check how well another AI model has performed. Think of it as having a second opinion on the quality of AI-generated responses. It's particularly useful when you want to verify how well an AI model handled your queries. To get started, you'll need 2 things: VS Code and a GitHub account. Let me show you how to get the extension installed. First, open up VS Code and look for the Extensions tab. In the Extensions search bar, type in AI Toolkit. Now, this is important. Make sure you look for the official Microsoft extension. You'll recognize it by the Microsoft publisher name. Don't download any third-party ones, as they might not have all the features we'll be exploring today. Click the Install button, and within a few seconds, you'll see a welcome screen pop up. You'll also notice a new icon appearing on your sidebar. This is your gateway to all the AI Toolkit features we'll be exploring today. I'm going to close the welcome screen and click on this AI Toolkit icon on the sidebar. See this Open Model Catalog button? Let me click it. What you're seeing now is the complete catalog of AI models available. At the time of recording, there are 60 models you can use. Let me scroll through them to show you the variety. You've got models from OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, and various open source options. Here's something important to note. When I click on a model like Llama 3.370B that I'm showing you now, you'll see this Try Out in Playground button. When you click it, you'll get a GitHub sign-in prompt. Now, about the limitations. While these models are accessible through GitHub, they're not exactly free. Let me show you the rate limits page. As you can see here, there are token limits and query restrictions. I'll leave this link in the description for you to check the detailed breakdown. While these limitations might sound restrictive, you can actually get quite a lot done with the free tier. I've been using it for small to medium-sized projects, and it works perfectly fine. However, if you're planning to use this toolkit more extensively, like running multiple bulk evaluations or processing large data sets daily, you'll probably want to consider subscribing to a paid plan. The choice really depends on your specific needs and usage patterns. Let me show you the playground. It's this first option under Tools that I'm clicking now. As you can see, this is your primary chat interface for interacting with models. The interface also supports file attachments. You can add text files or images when working with multimodal models. As you can see, I've chosen the Llama 3.370B model. Now let me show you something really cool. See this Context Instructions field at the top? This gives you more control over how the AI interacts with you. It lets you personalize the way the model responds and the kind of assistance it provides based on your preferences, needs, and style. I'm going to type in "Answer like Yoda from Star Wars" and ask it a question. Clearly the answer sounds like Yoda. Let's try something else. I'll type "Create a calculator app in Python" in the chat box here. Look at how Llama 3 is generating the code, And notice these comments. They're all written in Yoda's speech pattern. You can select all this code by clicking here and either copy it to your clipboard or click this New File button to create a new Python file with this code. Moving on to our second tool, let me click on Bulk Run in the left panel. This is perfect when you have multiple queries to process. Let me demonstrate how it works. Click this Import Dataset button here. Now navigate to where you saved your JSON lines file. I've prepared mine with queries for meal plans and training schedules. Once you've selected your file, you'll see it appear in this window here. Next, we need to choose which model we want to use for processing these queries. Look at this drop-down menu. I'm clicking it now, and you can see all the available models. For this demonstration, I'll select Llama 3. Now that we have our dataset loaded and our model selected, we're ready to process everything. Click on the Run All button at the top. You'll notice the status indicator starting to show progress. Processing all these queries actually took several minutes, but in the end, I got some pretty detailed responses to all of my 5 prompts. To save these results, just click this Export button here, and it'll save as a JSON lines file to your chosen location. For our final section, let me show you the evaluation tool. I'm clicking on Evaluation in the left panel now. Here's how we set it up. First, click New Evaluation and give it a name you can remember later. Now, this part is crucial. When choosing evaluation criteria, pay close attention to the required data formats. See these format requirements listed here? Each criterion needs different columns in your JSON lines file. For example, I'm noticing that coherence and relevance both require query and response columns, which matches our bulk run export format. That's why I'm selecting these two. For the model, I'm selecting GPT-4o Mini from this drop-down, and now I'll upload our dataset we've exported from the previous bulk run, so the responses given to my queries by Llama 3. Let's run the evaluation. Now, as I run this, you'll notice quite a few token limit errors appearing in the console. This seems like it might be a bug in the current version of the toolkit. I've encountered these errors consistently during my testing. Despite these errors, there we have our results. Looking at these numbers, this is where things get a bit unclear. We're getting scores of 4.6 for coherence and 5.0 for relevance, but here's the thing. There's no documentation explaining what these numbers actually mean. Are we looking at a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, 1 to 100? After doing some digging in Azure OpenAI's evaluation documentation, I'm making an educated guess that these are scores out of 5, which would mean our results are actually quite impressive. But I want to be transparent. I'm not entirely certain about this interpretation. It would be really helpful if Microsoft could clarify this in their documentation, which, by the way, you can access through this link in the bottom left corner. The Microsoft AI Toolkit for VSCode represents a game-changing approach to accessing AI models. What makes it truly special is how it solves multiple problems for developers and tech enthusiasts. Imagine having a single tool that lets you run AI models locally on your machine completely privately, while also giving you the flexibility to access more powerful remote models. That's exactly what this extension does. Whether you're working offline or need to tap into larger models hosted on GitHub, you've got options. The toolkit's most convenient feature is its integrated chat interface. Instead of juggling multiple tools like Ollama and separate web interfaces, everything now lives right inside VSCode. For developers already using this environment, it's a seamless way to experiment with AI without complicated installations. The extension offers 3 primary tools: a playground for direct model interactions, a bulk query processor, and an AI response evaluation system. While the bulk run and evaluation features feel somewhat experimental, the playground is where this tool really shines. For coding assistance, I still prefer GitHub Copilot because of its superior contextual awareness. But for anyone wanting to explore AI models without complex setups, Microsoft's AI Toolkit is a solid, user-friendly option that makes AI more accessible than ever. One important drawback to keep in mind is the privacy concern when using remote models hosted on GitHub. While the Microsoft AI Toolkit gives you incredible flexibility, these remote models aren't completely private. If you're worried about data confidentiality, you can actually combine this extension with local models using Ollama, a solution I've covered in previous videos. Microsoft's AI Toolkit is not perfect, but it's a significant step towards making AI tools more convenient and user-friendly for everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll join me soon in my next video.